everybody, and welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 72. I'm your host, KCW, and with me we have Zero.
Either you die as Zero, or you live long enough to see yourself become Casey.
I'm gonna kill him. Slicer.
Repetition is the death of entertainment.
I could hug you right now. See, it's not... I was watching a YouTube video and I looked in the comments, like 6 people quoting that fucking film.
Let it go.
That's another quote.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's start quoting Frozen. Or, like... other things that were well written and quotable, like, say, Shakespeare. Hey, we haven't quoted Shakespeare in a while. Let's try some of that. Huh? Mix it up a little bit, rather than quoting the same fucking film every 5 fucking seconds.
Casey, do you want to build a snowman?
I'd like to build a snowman. I haven't built a snowman in so long.
Okay. Build a snowman after the podcast, don't worry.
Kenshi.
Hi, I'm Kenshi618. If you go into your bathroom at midnight on the night of a harvest moon and say Kenshi618 3 times in the mirror in the dark, he'll appear directly behind you.
I don't want to try that.
Let's try something with my mirror. And we have special guest Erickson on the podcast. Everybody say hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone watching this podcast. All in that order.
I would
Time
hope
travel.
it's in that order.
Time travel.
Okay.
Time travel.
Fair enough. What are we doing? All right.
Intro?
What are we doing? That's what we're doing. So, what are we doing? Ken.
All right, so I updated 2 stories this week. Shinobi of the High Seas and my more niche story, Soldiers of Fortune. And I pimped the podcast in both of them. You're welcome, Casey.
Yeah, you did. We have 216 subscribers, up from 196.
Jesus, okay.
Just saying.
All right, dude, I've already told you stuff. I don't want to have this conversation with you.
I'm just going to go over to the Reflux video and read a few of the comments, if that's cool.
It's not cool. That's not necessary at all.
Sorry, Casey, but also here from Kenshi. There's... what? Would just like to say Kenshi brought me here. I love your fics, man. They are my favorite out of all the fanfictions I have ever read. And I'm always checking, etc. Ethan, Neil, here for Kenshi. Best fics I've read for sure.
I'm awesome. And I do not
Is that intentionally a question?
It was a question/statement, and I do not apologize for my actions or lack thereof. Bite me. Also, I started a Twitch stream from my PS4 this week, so people can start watching me suck at games live and in real time, in case you were wondering how terrible I am at things.
Okay, I could do with a link for that then.
Alright, I'll do it. Eventually. Soon.
I assume it's under Kenshi618.
Of course it is, but searching for Kenshi618 is a pain in the ass on Twitch. So I'll link it.
Okay.
I just found it by searching it in Google.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
Alright then, never mind. It's not that hard to find. Twitch search engine apparently sucks then.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's see. Other than that, haven't really done anything that I haven't done every week and have talked about several times over. So that's it for me, pretty much.
Okay. Slicer.
All right. It's been an interesting week, I suppose. First off, I started playing Madam, You Are Being Hunted. I don't know why on Steam, the page, it says, "Sir, you're being hunted," but every time it's mentioned in the game, it's always Madam. So it's kind of confusing. But stealth game, basically, hide from robots, collect these magical stones to get home, because you're in a foreign island nation or something. It doesn't really explain it completely, and that's kind of the point. I played with a controller, and the controls are weird, to be expected, but they actually work, so that's a point in the game's favor.
It's a stealth game. You're never going to beat that game.
No, hell no.
You suck at stealth.
It was like $1. I mean, I would not have gotten it otherwise.
You intentionally ignore... I'm not going to say you suck at stealth. You intentionally ignore stealth altogether.
I do. You can choose what you start with, and I always start with a gun, and I kill everything I come across.
You would get murdered in a horror movie.
Oh, yeah. I'd be the one grabbing a knife or a gun and going after the horrible creature thing.
I would too. I would too, but I'd be better at it than you because at least you didn't hear me coming.
Yeah, I really thought that maybe that might actually work because no one ever tries that in movies.
Sometimes people do, and usually they end up critically wounding the monster or murderer or whatever, but not killing him. So you could really call him the hero of the picture, not the one that's just sort of running away all the time and accidentally end up killing
things.
if
everybody ended up grabbing the knife and going after the guy, considering that they outnumber him, the entire movie would be over instantly.
Pretty much. Slicer does not have the wrong viewpoint here.
Awesome. I might die doing it, but the evil monster thing will die too.
Don't worry, Slicer. After you die critically wounding it, I'll be there to finish it because it won't see me coming.
And take all the credit. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, then. Next, Casey got GTA 5, and since he pre-ordered it, he got San Andreas, but didn't want it, so he gave it to me. And the controls
I'm a nice guy.
are really bad. It's not an amazing port. I fixed it by going into the controls and changing them how they're workable now. But one thing I found interesting was the handbrake is the left trigger, and Saints Row, which I played immediately afterward or during, I just kind of switched games. The handbrake is the right, so every other control is the same except for the handbrakes are different. I slammed into a lot of walls, going like 120 in a car. Yeah. That was irritating, but both fun games. Unfortunately, I wanted to check if the hot coffee mod made it into the port. I know it didn't, but, just checking to be sure. But the girlfriend missions are glitched. You cannot finish them, which sucks.
That especially sucks because that means you can't do the casino thing, right?
I don't know, actually. It might just be that girlfriend, the first one you get, but I'm not sure. I didn't get very far. I got into the second island. I'm just like, I'm done. Nostalgia's worn off. This game's not amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
It's good, but I've replayed it so many times that I don't know. I'm tired of it, I guess.
Yeah. It's been done better at this point by, the other series you were playing, so.
Yeah. Saints Row 2 is a really bad port. A really bad port. It's buggy. The DLC doesn't work. It doesn't exist. And
they didn't want to put the DLC on it for some reason, on the PC version. I don't know why.
Yeah. Thankfully, I found a mod that at least fixes some of the issues and puts in a lot of other stuff. Gentlemen of the Row. It's a mod it has a version for Saints Row 2 and 3. And I used both, and it worked really well. I'm afraid I don't know who makes it, though. The only thing I have is
whoever made it is now actually working for Deep Silver.
Oh.
Who currently own the thing. I think he runs their mod tools and stuff and did some work on Saints Row 4 one.
Oh.
So.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I only know idleninja.com is where you find it. So go there if you want to.
That's his username, so yeah.
All right.
Idle Ninja.
That seems like a really bad ninja then. All right, next, my headset broke. My PX21s or whatever the hell they were.
Apparently. That's what happened when we started recording, at least.
No, this is my brother's X12s, and they apparently do that. When you start the call, the sound is set to max, so I could whisper and it sounds like shouting right in somebody's ear. Yeah.
I did have some X12s. That just might be your set.
We've gone
I
through
used
like
X12s
8
originally.
sets.
Yeah.
That's weird. The thing is, it wasn't a wire issue. It was like the motherboard fried itself because I took it apart, and in the process of doing so, a blue light turned on, and I could hear again. The problem is it only lasted for like 5 seconds, so I just sat there watching Achievement Hunter breaks Jeff out of jail, or something like that, the GTA heist. This is a 40-minute video, and I'm just sitting there in my boxers scraping a screwdriver across the motherboard for 40 minutes. Yeah. It's probably one of the most dangerous things I've ever done. You know, metal on metal with electricity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a stupid thing to do. But eventually, like about 3 minutes before the video stopped, or was over, it just fried itself completely. Like, the lights completely turned off. I couldn't hear anything. And I've never heard an electronic device scream before until now. And that was interesting.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm sick. Yeah. And the power went out yesterday morning, repeatedly. So that was irritating.
I was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, great. We're covered in like 6 inches of snow. If a friendly neighbor wouldn't have taken, I forget what the thing is called, some heavy machinery and just cleared our driveway of snow, we would be 100% snowed in. We would not be able to leave our house. Yeah. Thankfully, we can leave now, so we're not completely trapped here. It's just really icy.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
And that's my week.
Slice has had a shitty week.
Pretty much.
Okay. I'll go next. What the hell did I do this week? Oh yeah, I have a flat. I think I mentioned that.
You did.
Did I mention
Yep.
that? Yeah. Yeah, decorating that is slow going.
And expensive, I assume.
Not so, 70, 80 quid on basic supplies like, paint and stuff. I still need to get carpets.
Man, leave it bare. Real men don't decorate shit.
No, it's cool. I got this really cool paint that's like a sort of, I suppose magenta might be the right color, pinkish purple color. It's really vibrant and it's nice. I like it. And because there was already wallpaper on the wall that was sort of had embossed flowers into it, then we're just painting over that. So it still has the design on it in the paint. So that's pretty cool.
Your wall's gonna give you a seizure.
It's not like I'm going to see it. Other people will, though, and they'll think it's awesome.
Until they have seizures.
Well, that's unfortunate for them, but it's not my fucking problem, is it? What else was there? Oh yeah, I played Saints Row 2 as well. Slice is not entirely wrong. There are a lot more problems playing that game now than I noticed when I played it the first time in, 2008, maybe. Yeah. Still fun, though. Every time I play it, I just wish I was playing Saints Row 3 instead. So...
Yeah. It is a
bit
lot
of nostalgia goggles on people saying that's the best one in the series at this point, but still a great game.
Oh, by the way, Super Bowl happened. Did you watch it?
Oh, right. That happened too. Fuck.
They were wrong for the first time.
They were wrong for the first time, and it was entirely the Seahawks' fault. What the fuck? That last play.
Yeah.
All right. We got it. We're making our comeback. We're almost there. Throw an interception.
Okay, for
Beast mode had literally been running through their line every single time they gave
to send
ball.
the beast mode in, and he would have gone
1 yard.
1 yard.
I don't know. Someone fucked up.
It wasn't even the first attempt. No, it was the first attempt. They had more downs after that. They did not need to throw on the first one.
And the funny thing is, they still had timeouts and crap, so they'd be fine for the
Had
time
one
and everything. Yeah, they still had one timeout left, so, worst case scenario, they were fine.
For those of us who know nothing about sports, you want to explain all this?
Okay, the Seahawks were basically dominating for the second half. It had been tied 14-14 at the halftime, and then the Seahawks just kind of ran away with it, 10 points ahead for a long time. Then the Patriots score a touchdown, catch up a bit, they're 3 points behind, then they score another touchdown. So the Seahawks are now trailing. And then they get the most miraculous catch.
Yeah, that catch.
That catch was awesome.
Quite some time.
Yeah.
Basically, he tries to catch it, just tips the ball up a little bit, and then he falls on his back and starts kicking it up with his knees and then catches it. It was the most lucky thing I've ever seen. I don't think skill had anything to do with that catch.
I don't think he even realized he caught it.
No. So they make that catch. They manage to get the ball 1 yard from the end zone. And then the quarterback decides, fuck this game, I don't want to win anyway. Throws the ball right at the opposition. They catch it, and that's it.
And then didn't the quarterback just break what the coaches told him he was supposed to do and just decide to throw it anyways?
No, that was his call. That was the coach's call.
Okay. Why would the coach do that?
I don't know.
His reasoning was that they knew we were going to run it, so we were going to throw it first.
Did that stop them any other time?
I didn't say it was smart. I said it was his reason.
Honestly, I don't believe that's the real reason. That's not Pete Carroll's style. I honestly believe someone else fucked up and just Pete Carroll just took the blame for it.
That's what I think.
Perhaps.
Who knows?
Either way, Casey lost money.
Casey did. At that point, he was going to lose money anyway, because, I mean, even if they scored that touchdown, I would have lost the bet anyway, because I bet 7-12. I bet they were going to be up more than that. So, but I really would have liked them to win anyway. Mostly just so I could say that the Achievement Hunter predicts thing is still entirely accurate, but no, not anymore.
Yeah. Mostly accurate, though.
Mostly accurate.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that was a thing. I think that's pretty much it for my week. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. It snowed like hell.
Yeah.
On Thursday night. And since my shift at the shop is on Friday, I figured I should go in. Because, I don't know, they're probably not going to close. They didn't text me or ring me or anything. Nope, they're closed. No one told me. And because they'd been talking about moving the opening times to 10 till 4 instead of 9 till 3, I thought, well, maybe they open later and I'm just here early. So I go up again. Nope, still closed.
You don't have, like, the number of your boss or something you can call?
No. Well, the number I have is the place, and it's closed. So what am I going to do?
Well, at least there was a nice walk.
Yeah. A nice walk on snow that had since melted and thus frozen again. So the snow as much as ice.
It's a very unpleasant feeling.
Fucking snow. I like snow, but fucking snow.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my week. Zero hasn't gone yet, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I've started playing Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition.
Yay! Yay!
I played it once and then I stopped because I decided, you know what, I'm going to try playing as a mage. That was a mistake.
Oh.
That was a mistake. I got assassinated so quickly, and then I forgot to save, so I lost pretty much all my progress I made, and it's like, screw it, I'm done. I'll be back later, but not right now. So
yeah, mages have it rough at low levels in that game.
Yeah, so I should have gone with my first instinct and been a freaking, like, warrior or something.
Pro tip. At the start of the game, don't go off the roads.
Okay.
If you go off the roads, things will kill you. stick to the roads, then go back and explore the areas when you have some levels under your belt. So you won't die in a single hit.
Good to keep in mind.
Yes. So, pro tip for the day.
Alright. Well, other than that, I was going to be taking Japanese this semester, but I ended up not being able to do it because they apparently only offer the first session of that in the spring, or not the spring, in the fall, and the second is always going to be in the spring. So I ended up losing that class, so I'm like, I need to get another class. And the one I ended up getting was Philosophy of Art.
Hooray.
And it's more of a philosophy class, and it's kind of interesting. It's already impacting my writing from what I've been doing.
Interesting.
As I go through it, I might talk more about it, but definitely an interesting thing. Also, on Friday, you guys remember when I burnt my arm the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I burnt that same arm in the same part of the arm.
Wow.
Doing the same thing?
Second degree burn, and it wasn't doing the same thing. I was taking out the grill tray, and we've been doing this thing where we reuse the grill tray, and so the grease on the bottom starts building up, and so I kind of like I wasn't expecting the weight on that, so as I was walking, it splashed back onto my arm.
Great. Did you drop all of it onto the floor?
I dropped it onto the floor, but only 2 pieces actually touched the ground because it was on a tray.
Oh.
So, yeah, second degree burns, fun. It put my writing on hold for a little bit. I did manage to write most of a chapter before then, so I just finished that up and I put up a new chapter of M1N470. So, you know, I've been trying to see if I could write other things, but I really can't right now because it's just awkward with pain and whatnot. So, yeah, it's gonna be slow going until it heals up. So aside from that, my grandpa called me over for a news story the other day. Ricardo Medina Jr., who was the Red Power Ranger in Power Rangers Wild Force back in 2002, killed his roommate with a sword.
Wow.
Okay.
He claimed it was self-defense, but he killed the only witness there, so I'm not sure. So
okay.
He was the Red Power Ranger in Wild Force. Interesting thing to note, in Power Rangers Samurai, he came back as a villain known as Decker. And so the moral of the story here is you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Literally.
A horrible person.
So
it's good to see the Power Rangers doing more things in the news.
Yeah.
So he's kind of arrested right now.
I feel okay about this.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I can't imagine what happened there. Something strange and unpredictable happened there.
Oh, yeah, I got kicked out of the call.
Yeah, can't imagine how that happened. It's just something, I don't know. It's going to be a mystery for the ages, what that's going to be.
So, yeah, he got into an argument with his roommate. It escalated, and he claimed that his roommate came after him, so he killed him with the sword.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently it did.
It kind of did. Every time I tell that story or that news story, everybody's reaction is, well, that escalated quickly.
His roommate came at him with a trident. So.
It's funny because, one, he was on Power Rangers Samurai, where, of course, he used a sword, a very powerful sword, and two...
He's a Power Ranger.
He's a Power Ranger, the red one, the leader, the good guy, the main character. So, yeah, that's about it for my week.
I'll tell you, man, Power Rangers. Can't trust them.
Nope.
Right. Okay. Anything else, Zero?
No, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Arxum. What you been doing? Keep it within the week.
Yeah, okay. So 3 things. Work, video games, and writing. Very simple. Writing, a lot of my fans have been asking for me to do lemons, and, well, for one, it's very awkward for me, and I'm not very good at them, and I kind of realized since that is my excuse, that's actually the reason why I've been writing fan fiction, so I can get better. So, I've been doing a lot of research into that. I can actually legitimately say I've been watching porn for the sake of research.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
kind of difficult not enjoying it when you actually have to take notes on it, and yeah, it's just awkward as fuck.
Hey, that's why it's an excuse. Only he keeps the notes in his brain.
Yep.
Yeah. I suppose you could read magazines and actually read it for the articles.
I actually have been doing that, and it's not the same.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I've been looking at porn, I've been looking at love stories, I've been looking at pretty much everything. It's a work in progress, but whatever.
It's funny that I haven't gotten any requests to write lemons. I think I got one once, but I haven't gotten any requests to write lemons. But, that kind of makes sense, because in my main story, the main character's a robot, so...
Yeah, that'd be a complicated proposition.
A little bit, yeah.
The Igus thing was still weird.
I don't know, for me, I read a high school D&D story. Main character, of course, has a harem, and he actually does get action, but I don't ever write anything. So
fade to black, that's the best way.
I do fade to black. And, yeah, people get upset about that. So,
it happens.
Whatever.
People like porn.
People do like porn.
And it's high school DxD, so it's kind of expected.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, there's never any, actual sex in the series. It just sort of alludes to it, and with fan service, yes.
Remember when they were, pulling all the stories with lemons from fan fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like...
Ken deleted the scenes from his stories.
Yeah, and then put most of them back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care anymore.
And now that all of a sudden it's stopped and they just don't care anymore. There's way too many lemons, from what I've seen.
It was a group, Writers United or something like that. They kept reporting all the stories.
Bunch of assholes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, so for work, this week we had a major project from a company. I'm not going to say anything because I'm paranoid like that.
That's probably good policy.
Yeah. So we had to do 170 tablecloths. I work at an embroidery shop. We mostly do Leatherman jackets for high school students. We do embroidering company logos on their stuff. So we had to do 170 tablecloths of the company logo on them. And I could have done the podcast with you guys last week because I was put on hold until 2 o'clock for the stuff to arrive. That was annoying.
So they screwed you around with shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, the company itself always does this. They always demand so much of us. It was supposed to be due on Friday, but last minute, as we're rushing Friday fucking morning to finish everything, they just call last minute saying, oh, we can't get a driver, so we're going to have to get back to you on Monday.
Awesome.
So I lost a lot of hours of sleep doing that, and that's normal. Made a lot of money, though. So that's a good thing.
That's something.
Yeah, that's something. And then for video games, I've been consumed once more. That is the wreck Destiny.
Okay. Does anyone else actually play Destiny on this podcast? I don't know.
No.
Destiny, I played the alpha, and then I did not play it ever again.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Arxum.
Yeah, it's extremely repetitive. The rewards are mediocre, but what I do like about it is the PvP. People are douchebags, and it's just fun totally screwing them over. And I gotta say, probably the raids. You get like 6 people together, we work together, and that's just a lot of fun. Everything else about it just plain sucks, though.
It'd be nice if there were like more than 2 raids. That would be...
Yeah, that would be
good, right?
Yeah, we gotta wait till the next installment out, like, I think March or something like that.
Yeah, they're not quite doing MMOs as, MMOs, are they?
Not really. It's kind of like a Call of Duty-esque MMO. It's a work in progress, which kind of sucks, because I paid like $60 for the game, plus DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Don't worry, the sequel comes out, I think it's next year or the year after, so...
What?
Whatever.
Yeah, someone apparently misquoted them when they said it was going to be a 10-year thing. It's not going to be a 10-year game, it's going to be a 10-year plan for the franchise.
Ew.
So yeah, they're doing sequels.
Yeah, it makes better sense.
Activision.
I was going to say, they're just going to have DLC for the same system for fucking 10 years?
Well, that's what WoW did.
We are kind of at that age where, it's not much of a graphical step up to make another game. Unless it's like this, where it's early in the console's lifespan. They don't really know how to use the hardware yet.
Mm. Well, there's not that much difference in what they can do with the hardware. It's just they can do more with the actual gameplay and actual mechanics and stuff. They can have more people on screen, more cars or vehicles or whatever on screen, and more things going on at one time. But graphically, it's not that many more steps forward before it's just real.
Pretty much.
So...
I gotta say, there was a huge difference between the PS3 version and the PS4. Graphics were completely different. Like, some things I couldn't see in PS3 version were as clear as day on PS4. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I noticed that with Grand Theft Auto, actually.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you were to look back on Destiny, let's say 2 gens forward from now, I don't think you would really notice too much of a difference anymore. I think at this point, graphical jumps just aren't going to be there when it comes to new generations. It's just not going to happen.
I think my buddy...
It's not going to be enough. There needs to be more to it in new console generations, if they're going to keep doing that anyway. So you were saying?
Yeah, my buddy was talking about it, saying with all the progress of visual stuff, he thinks that all the graphics actually become more detailed than actual real-life graphics, whatever that means. But I can kind of see that happening. Things are being much more detailed than whatever our eyes can pick up. Probably going to burn our eyes out faster, though.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, thinking about it, I'll tell you what's going to happen. The Oculus and VR stuff is going to kick off, and that's going to take us way back in graphical fidelity, and then we're going to do this whole cycle again. It's going to ramp up again with all the VR stuff.
That makes sense, yeah.
Oh, how long do you think it would take before we get a nerve gear?
A nerve gear?
Sort of online.
Never, I hope, but
I'm into that.
That'd be cool having a plug socket in the back of my neck. That'd be cool.
I'm into that. I'd totally get locked into a world where I can do is kill people.
It'd be pretty cathartic, you gotta admit.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone who was against the idea.
If there was nerve gear, then Casey could strangle me finally, and I don't like that.
I'm only against the idea because I would never leave my room. Like, I would have no reason to leave.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's my week.
Be pretty cool with that. Stick an IV in my arm and just let me live in my fantasy land for the rest of my life. That'd be cool.
But then you'd be a burden to society.
Huh?
Then you'd be a burden on society. You wouldn't be contributing.
I'd be contributing by, I don't know, getting fat-ass loot. And,
No, what you do is you get a job in the game world that translates to real money.
Well,
Has anyone ever
get
read
a job in the
the
game world and provide entertainment that way.
Or be
That's
a
still a
GM
job.
or something.
I'm just going to assume that's an oversaturated market in this future.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever read the Pendragon series?
I've not.
No.
Okay, so it pretty much takes place in this guy. He's a traveler. He goes to other worlds, saving them from some transforming demon dude. One of the worlds he visits, it takes place in long future, like say 5,000 years. Virtual reality is an actual thing. The entire planet itself is a virtual reality. So when he leaves that virtual reality, he actually sees the world is dying. Everyone's all in these pods that are just fading away. Everything is synthesized to keep feeding these people in the tubes. And eventually the world is pretty much screwed over before he even arrives. So he really can't save it.
Huh.
Honestly, though, if we got to that point, I'd just leave my pod just because then I'd be the only person outside, and then I'd do whatever the heck I want.
So then
I'd just
you'd
be
be
like, wait, everybody's in there? All right, I'm going out. What do you mean? What are you going out? No, you can't do that. I'm out. And then just like everybody's unconscious.
Wouldn't therefore what your reasoning is, reality would be your virtual reality?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably closer to what would happen. People would just rebel against the system because they could rebel against the system, and there's no real reason behind it. They just want to do something different to what everyone else is doing, which is kind of a driving force behind humanity. This is getting a little bit deeper than I kind of anticipated, though, what we're doing topic to go. Yeah, so I think we're going to move on to the actual topics that we picked out this week. Is
All
that
right.
good? All right, so first topic, as is usual. Actually, what was the name of that series that you were talking about, Erickson? The Link Dump?
Pendragon?
Okay. Is it books?
Yeah, BJ, damn it, no, what was his name? DJ McHale.
Okay. Can you spell that?
DJ.
Yeah.
Mac, M-A-C, and Hale, H-A-L-E.
Thank you. Right, okay. So, first topic from the actual topics is, from Erickson, his chosen topic for this episode is how to start a story. We've done similar topics to this. I don't think we've ever specifically done this one. If we have, fuck it, we're doing it again anyway.
Wouldn't be the first time we've done a topic more than once.
Yeah. So, how to start a story. Erickson, would you like to take this away since this is your topic?
Sure. All right. So for my problem, I'm always writing stories, either both original or fan fiction. I always have a problem with what am I going to do? How do I start it? What is the first sentence I use? How do I introduce the characters? How do I introduce the world? This and that. Usually for me, I create a world. I create the characters. I create a plot. I create all these things, but I don't really know how to orchestrate it. So usually for me, I wing it. I write multiple different sections of the first chapter, and I either copy and paste everything, or I'll just write several different versions of chapter one and pick which one is my favorite. And that's usually how I start it.
It's a pretty intensive method.
It works.
All right. Well, since we're doing examples, anyone else want to go? How they start stories?
I usually start in the middle of something happening.
Go
like
Celeste.
an event.
An event.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't even need to be anything important. Just, I don't know, a ball being thrown, somebody opening a door, something like that.
Oh, you doing literally the very, very beginning of this is just a thing happening. Yeah, I'll be honest, thinking back on how I do things, I haven't written that many stories, so I don't know whether I actually have a specific method. I think I start with setting the scene a little bit, is probably how I specifically start the very beginning of a story.
Yeah, for me, it's either, to specifically start it, it's either dialogue or something like, just starting with, actually dialogue seems to be the go-to thing for me, even though you probably shouldn't do it sometimes. It's what I typically fall back on, and it seems to work well. So for me, at least, I don't know. You can have bad dialogue to start the story with, I guess, depending on what you write. But before that, like conceptually, how to actually start the project. For me, I always start with not really. I don't plan everything out. I just have an idea of I want to write this, and once I write the first chapter, I decide is this idea something I want to continue, and then I would then start to plan things out. But I usually just go ahead. I have an idea. I translate it to a chapter. And whether or not I continue is highly dependent upon how it is received and how much I actually want to do the story.
Okay, so basically just throwing stuff out there and seeing if you think it's okay, and then going from there.
Yeah.
So you just idea, then set the framework.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
Things at the wall.
That's how I do it, and if I feel like it's good enough to be published as a story, I'll put it out there. But like my main story, I got that from the idea of, hey, you know what? If I were to the name Minato, if you were to put that with letters and stuff, wait, that's like machine talk or something. Then that's like robots and stuff. Oh, and if I start from here, oh. And it just kind of spiraled from there. It was just me contemplating a word, and that's how it went to become what it is. It doesn't have to be, you have to plan out the entire storyline and everything that there is before that, because there's a chance that you will write the first chapter and you'll just decide, I don't want to do this. So it's best to at least write down and find out if you would like to write more of that, because if you don't want to write more of that, then honestly, there's no point to planning everything out. And you can just throw it out quickly.
And just because the idea appeals to you does not mean the actual execution will.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but, it happens.
Mm.
I believe if something like that happens, stop what you're doing and just rewrite everything until you do like it. That way it doesn't get boring, doesn't get dull, you don't lose your interest, and you can just keep plowing your way through after that.
I mean, it is your story. You could do whatever you want with it. So if you don't like how it goes and you don't like writing it, then yeah, I guess that's
certainly one option.
Hmm? Ken, you've been quiet this topic.
Oh, well, I had a moment to interject. Whenever I try to write anything, it usually starts with a random idea that gets stuck in my head, and from there you start building around it, coming up with characters to fit the idea, and it needs what kind of setting would be best for the idea and the characters you created to, thrive, and just go from there. It's kind of hard for me to explain, because when something gets started for me, it kind of just starts rolling. By the time I stop, I'm like a big ways into the planning process. So I don't know. Sometimes it's when you're feeling it and it's coming along, it feels automatic. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the way I write, I make a big deal, probably too big a deal, of how I write organically. I just let things happen as they're going to happen. So I pretty much kind of can't do the whole planning things out in advance thing. It just doesn't work for me. Every now and again I'll have an idea, and I'll try and incorporate it, but that's about as far as it can go, and oftentimes it just doesn't work out that way. And frankly, the way I start a story is I have an idea and I just start writing the story, and that is about as complicated my process gets.
Yeah,
so
for me, once I start really, getting into the story and I start thinking about it more, since I kind of write organically, yet I kind of plan, I kind of have to do a mix. What I do is I plan certain events that I want to be able to reach down the line, and then it's just I leave whatever's between those two events completely to how my writing, shapes around the entire area. Kind of let it form itself. That's completely fine.
Yeah. So you set basically beacons that you're gonna get to one by one.
So that way it's kind of
everything
like...
between that is just sort of whatever.
Yeah, so it's kind of like...
We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. So it's basically, rather than letting my story get lost because it has no guidance whatsoever, I've got guideposts, and however I get there is completely up to however my writing changes.
That's probably a better method than mine, but...
A little bit, yeah. A little more structured.
Yeah, don't let your story be all Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Or do, apparently, depending on what you're writing.
You need to know where you're going.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay to have a general idea and then just let your writing fill in the rest of the way. And even if you have no idea where you're going, though, and this has happened to me, your story will end up dying pretty easily if you don't have a good idea of where you're going to go with it eventually.
Right. You should have a foundation for every guideline, like how he said right now. Excuse me. But it is okay as long as the story progresses. You can make up things as you go along. I do this a lot. In fact, I actually don't even know what the end goal is for my stories. None of them. So I'm honestly just winging it.
That's the fun way to write,
I
find. Just because you don't even know where you're going. So you get to enjoy where the story goes almost as much as your audience does.
Definitely.
Which I find quite nice.
Because nothing is as boring as writing out a whole script that you have planned in your head. Because then you can't really make any changes, or if you have a cool idea doing it, you're like, nope, I've got to follow this preset plan I have in my head.
That's why my first story died.
That's actually not entirely true, because I do that, and you have no idea how many times my story has changed, because as I'm writing this, I think, oh, this idea sounds even better. I'll place it on there, and the entire thing changes.
Yeah, and that's a good way to approach it.
As long as you're flexible,
Yeah. As long as you have the flexibility so you can change things as you're going along, that's good. If you don't have that flexibility, then you just get sick of it so quickly. It's not even funny.
Well, the moral of the story is, write what you want, so long as you, as a reader and a writer, would enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, that's a nice message.
Yeah.
You can even chop off the if other people can enjoy it part, depending on how selfish you are.
Well, not everyone's going to agree with you, but you will have other people just as many who are going to agree with you, who are going to like it. So you're going to have likers and haters at the same time. So long as you, the reader and the writer, enjoy it yourself, go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's less concern for the audience, I'll be honest. Rationally speaking, you're not getting paid, so...
Well,
yeah. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, if you like writing for an audience, then that's... Well, obviously you should pay some attention to what your audience likes, but otherwise, just do what you want.
Yeah, it's your story.
No one can tell you otherwise. Sorry, you were saying
one thing before that. I prefer you not have a gag chapter where everybody dies, or worse. Don't do that, please. Just because you can do whatever you want, don't screw yourself over. But I was saying about the endings, the Dark Souls thing I was writing, Welcome to Dark Souls, and I got like 2 or 3 people saying, "Oh, I bet you got a great ending planned out," and I just laughed. I don't have anything beyond what's there planned, so yeah, that was hilarious.
It would have been just as hilarious if they said, "Hey, I bet you got a second chapter already planned out and everything. It's gonna be great."
Yeah,
no,
pretty much. I just write that as I play, honestly. That's the very definition of organic, I guess.
All right, so I guess that's that topic done. Anyone got anything else to say for it?
I don't think so.
No.
Good.
Okay. Second topic is impossibly cool weapons.
Yay.
So, this probably goes into the territory of it's absolutely not realistic at all, but fuck it, no one cares. Rule of cool. This is too awesome to just not use because of silly things like physics or reality.
Wait, I got mine.
Go for it.
The Death Star.
A bit,
Death
yeah.
Star.
That's a lot of resources for just one laser.
It's a big laser, though.
You can fucking blow up a planet. It is awesome.
You know what else is Star Wars related to the top of the list? Lightsabers.
Not just lightsabers,
Pretty cool.
double-ended lightsaber.
Yeah.
Okay, the regular lightsaber I can get behind because, it's just a sword. It can just cut through anything. That's kind of awesome. It can cut through anything except another lightsaber, which means lightsaber on lightsaber is pretty amazing, because if they hit anything else, it gets destroyed. That's cool.
I think it's actually some sort of metal that it's resistant to, and some sort of creatures have high resistance. Those whatever those are.
Unaffected by lightsabers, yes. But anything else gets destroyed. Stop ruining this for me, Arxem.
Ruin it for him. He needs to be taken down a peg every now and then.
Yeah.
But he needs to deflate that growth he has right now.
Especially about lightsabers.
Yeah, so the light staff and double-bladed lightsabers and stuff like that, that's where it loses me a little bit, because it's starting to move beyond suspension of disbelief, which is the problem.
Yeah, a bit.
So, and that fucking cross guard is still pissing me off. That's
still
dumb.
Awesome. I remember reading some of the comics. They had some sort of weird laser whip.
Yeah, that was dumb too, though. That's the thing.
I didn't understand or comprehend. I don't think my mind could have processed how that was possible.
I mean, lightsabers make some amount of sense because they're laser swords.
Yeah, but that's
so they
flexible
go in a straight line.
whip? Yeah.
I don't quite know how that would work.
It doesn't. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
But yeah, lightsaber's fucking awesome. Then probably number one on any list of improbably cool weapons. Impossibly cool, whatever the topic was.
Any sword that's bigger than a person, the weight distribution of that would be completely screwed.
I never find those cool, but that's just me. I don't like those swords. They just look stupid.
Oh, I do.
I know you do.
I think in Face Day Night there was something called the Mountain Cleaver. It was like the size of a mountain. One cleave of it can chop off a mountain. I have no idea how they even forged that.
A chainsaw.
Pieces, I guess.
Okay, no, probably.
A chainsaw on a whip.
Wow. Where is that from?
Metal Gear Rising.
It is. Anyone ever read Zombie Powder? Has anyone ever read Zombie Powder?
No.
Gamma had this giant ass cleaver chainsaw thing. It was pretty awesome.
Or how about a pair of scissors made out of gigantic machete?
Machete.
I can't tell if you mean Kill la Kill or Metal Gear Rising.
Both.
But that seems possible. That I think we could do that.
I don't know why the scissor weapon was cool. I mean, it was, but why?
It's really impractical.
The scissors.
Because as a child, you wanted your scissors to be a weapon, but you knew that they weren't really that dangerous unless you really wanted them to be.
I'm sure subconsciously you can't move very fast with them because everyone's been telling you all your life, don't run with scissors. So you just subconsciously walk everywhere with them.
I have to say,
it just makes it more menacing.
Of all the ridiculous weapons out there, one of my favorites is from Dead Rising 2, and it's a combination of a wheelchair with a battery with a Merc assault rifle or LMG.
Oh,
it's called the Blitzkrieg. You're on an electric wheelchair, just shooting things. Just shooting zombies.
Yeah.
It's great. I can't think of anything better in that game, because it's a drivable vehicle, it moves super slowly, but you kill everything with 3 machine guns on it. It's great.
You only need 1 machine gun, but there's 6 of them strapped to this chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dead Rising is pretty good for those stupid, awesome weapons. like the paddle chainsaw.
Oh, yeah.
Just two chainsaws strapped on the ends of a paddle. So you
That
just
paddle
swim
would
down
snap.
the street with chainsaws cutting through zombies. Great.
I love they have just kind of a flail attack. With a lot of those, you can just run and he just kind of spins it around.
It's good stuff. What other improperly called weapons? Scythes.
I was just going to say that. Damn.
Yes.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Scythes are a weird one.
They're really cool, but at the same time, like, they're so cool that when you have one in there, everybody starts to kind of overuse them a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, that's partially because of the whole Grim Reaper thing, I think.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Have...
Scythes are not effective weapons at all.
No, they're not.
They have the same problem axes do, only worse. It's that the blade is not going to stay forward because of the weight of it.
Yeah.
Well, bigger axes anyway. I mean, like hatchets and even battle axes, you'd probably be fine, but anything bigger than that.
And Bayonetta 2, there's a giant, like, 3-bladed scythe you can have that's really awesome. Because it's constantly moving like this. It's like it's alive. It's really cool.
3-bladed scythe, you say? That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, doesn't it?
I
mean, it's not like that's ever been seen before.
It was a stupid weapon in Naruto, too, just to be clear.
Thanks, Zero, for that.
The character made it cool.
Great.
Ish.
In Star Ocean 4, there's a character called Aromat P. Thanatos. And guess what weapon he uses? It's a scythe, but it's not just any scythe. It's a laser scythe with several different blades on it.
See, that's effective because you can cut any direction. The blade isn't just on the bottom.
It has like 4 laser blades coming out the end of it. Named Thanatos, though.
Yeah. A little bit on the nose.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But I suppose any conversation about scythes, we would be remiss not to mention the fucking Crescent Rose.
Yeah.
The combination high-caliber sniper rifle scythe.
That works, though.
In, like, Bayonetta 2.
Okay, Slicer, explain how that works, please.
Well, the problem is building speed with it, right? Or at least that's one of the problems. And you can use the gun to boost that. So it does work in that regard. You're going to keep moving.
Ish. Yeah, okay, if you say so.
I suppose stopping would be a problem, and if you get stuck on something, like the blade doesn't go all the way through, then you're kind of screwed, but...
A little bit. Yeah. There's a lot of scythe weapons out there.
Mass Effect 2's gun that creates a black hole.
What was that called?
Don't fire that near you and you're fine. I'm pretty sure it was just black hole gun. I don't think they actually called it anything.
Okay, I have to say, the holy hand grenade from Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. It needs to be said.
I
don't think I used that.
Zero. The holy hand grenade from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I know it's from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
As iterated on by Fallout.
Yeah, as used in Fallout 3. Because you actually get to use it in that game. That's the only time you actually get to see their take on how awesome it is. And it makes such a huge explosion. You have to throw it and run away to not get killed by it. Like, really run away and throw it really far. Also, like, in Fallout New Vegas, it was Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, they had an orbital laser.
Yeah, that was great. It was New Vegas.
If we're doing Fallout game weapons, then I want the shish kebab. It's made with a lawnmower.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's a ghetto sword.
The ghettoist.
Gasoline and it's a lawnmower blade and it's just great.
It's metal.
Yeah. So, Zero said holy hand grenades, and of course, my thoughts immediately went towards worms.
Yeah.
Concrete donkey.
Yeah. Remember when I used that?
I don't know how that counts as a cool weapon, but I can't deny that it does.
It's a giant concrete statue you're dropping on somebody. That's pretty cool.
I feel just in terms of effectiveness, it gets points for being cool.
Ballistic Fist from Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
It's a fist with a wrist-mounted shotgun and a pressure plate worn over the knuckle. So when you punch somebody, it does the shotgun thing. They also did that in Ruby with,
with the shot gauntlets, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual name is.
But this came first. And
it did, yes.
Oh man, it's so good in the game. Like,
it's pretty good, yeah.
Because it's short range attack, point blank shotgun plus punch. I mean, I'm not sure how much damage the punch does, but you don't need to worry about that.
It's less about the punch and more about building momentum, so the pellets go even farther, whatever.
It's less about the punch and more about the punch,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get it?
Yeah.
It's a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Lame.
Also, on that same note of unarmed weapon, the bear trap fist from Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, God.
That's a good way to just have your fist trapped against somebody's whatever you hit.
Yeah, because how do you unwind that?
It makes no sense, but it somehow does, because game mechanics.
I guess you sharpen it so it just goes clean through anything? I don't know.
Of course, that just leaves the problem of chunks of people getting on your hands, and...
Yeah, pretty much.
That doesn't seem like a pleasant prospect to me, but that's just me.
I just realized that makes you a lobster person. If you have two of them on your hands...
You realize they're going to have dual wielding in the next Fallout game, right?
Oh, great. I'll just become Lobster Man.
You really will
Sounds
become Slicerness. With your
Wow.
Really, he'd more be Chopperness, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Any more cool weapons anyone wants to shout out at this moment?
Damn it.
I don't know. What's the guy from Trigun? He had the cross?
Vash?
No, not him. He had the cross. He was the priest.
Wolfwood.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. That thing would weigh like 50 pounds on the front end. You would not be able to aim with that.
Wasn't it a missile, so shouldn't it be more than that?
It was a minigun, and then it was a missile on the shorter. So
that's like 200, 300 pounds right there.
Yeah. And he used it one-handed. It's ridiculous.
Trigun was great.
Yeah.
I think someone was asking about different settings for anime and saying, like, hey, when can we get a Western anime?
I wrote that at the top
or whatever. And
chapter on one of the things. I've seen Trigun, all right? I know.
Yeah. That was you?
Yeah.
Okay, you're dumb.
Why am I dumb?
Because Trigun.
I've seen it.
Okay, so it exists. And you know it exists, so why did you ask for one?
I didn't say it didn't exist. I said I need to see it again. I need to see something else. It needs to come circle around again, so cowboys and shit. Again.
I don't know. Outlaw Star counts. A lot of the worlds they visit are just cowboys.
Cowboy Bebop a little bit.
Those are old. Yeah. Those are that's 20 years ago.
Okay. That doesn't mean they don't count.
I'll be honest, I can't watch Cowboy Bebop anymore.
I need them to circle back around so that they start making more cowboy-related shit now.
We can't. We're in the age of the mech right now.
We're in the age of computers.
Yeah, that too.
That's what we get now.
We're in the space age.
No, we get all that perverted stuff now.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I can't really complain about that. Yeah. Any others come to mind?
None that I can think of offhand. That's for me.
I wasn't paying attention, but did anybody mention Gut Sword from Berserk?
We said stupid giant swords that are unwieldable.
Yeah, but you see, his giant sword is a backstory.
Yeah, that doesn't make it not a giant sword.
It doesn't make it a giant, no.
How about a gun that shoots swords?
You mean like the one from Borderlands?
The shotgun explosion or whatever the hell it was. That sword, that shotgun sucked. I got the worst one, so...
How about a gun that shoots other smaller guns?
That shoots swords. That shoots bullets.
Once again, shout out to manly guys doing manly things.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even be shooting somebody. You'd be pistol whipping them.
Yeah, that's great, right?
You pistol whip them from a distance.
That'd be cool.
And those miniature guns shoot out craft beer.
Just as the final insult, Okay, third topic, because we're like an hour and 5 and we got a bunch of questions. Romantic comedy. I don't know how this didn't get on the topic list sooner. With 70 episodes in, and this is the first time we've even thought of it. We only put it on the spare topics list last week. So, who has written a romantic comedy here?
Yo. Kind of.
Him. Oryxum.
I've written some.
Kenshi-ish.
Yeah, I've...
Zero-ish. Slicer...
I don't know if that counts.
I don't know what threshold you lose the romantic comedy bit because there's so much porn.
It's romantic, in a way. It's just It's just sexually romantic.
Yeah, what you said.
Sure.
Is romance in your stuff?
Sure. I guess. I don't know.
Sometimes.
Depends what you consider romantic, I guess.
Okay, so how do you write romantic comedy?
It just happens.
It's the easiest thing to really copy because it's everywhere. You don't have to think too hard about it because it's easy to fall back on. I feel like because we have so much exposure to romantic comedy and everything.
Mm.
It occurs to me that and horror are pretty much made of tropes.
Yeah. It literally is made of tropes. Like, anything you do for romantic comedy has been done before, unless you're going out of your way to do anything against, what is typically done with the tropes.
Yeah, unless you're trying super hard, you're not going to break any new ground.
Or the situation is just downright weird. But even then, that can just be compared to things.
Yeah.
Like, Her, that film with the guy falling in love with his phone or something.
Yeah.
Ah, right, that one, yeah.
That was weird and somewhat new, but I think we've had people falling in love with AIs before.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's not entirely new. Even something that was considered so outlandish has been done so many times in sci-fi before.
Yeah. You ever seen Archer?
Yes.
Frigger's hologram? Yeah, I'd totally like the shit out of that.
I love Archer. I should recommend that one of these days.
You could do it this week if you don't already have something.
But that's cheating.
I guess.
If he does, I'm going to recommend Arrow again.
All right.
It's just how it's going to go.
All right, so for romantic comedies, there are a number of ways of doing it. You could either base it upon your personal life. You can base it upon things you've seen on TV, media. It is everywhere. So just turn on the TV, add $10 says you're going to find something right there, first channel. Another way of doing it is, I'm actually going to quote Bender from Futurama. Comedies are exaggerated, but tragedies, now that shit is hilarious. Most of the cases,
yeah.
Most of the cases, for romantic comedies, you mostly portray the misfortune of the couple. You can either do it in the lighthearted way, or you can do all serious, and yet you can still make it hilarious somehow in some way. So, for romantic comedies, you have to think, what do you personally find funny? And also, what do you find cute about it? What do you enjoy about this person? What does this character enjoy with this other character? And honestly, it would just go from there. It just comes in naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
write it based on the characters rather than just throwing stuff out there.
Pretty much.
If you have a good sense of humor, you're pretty set. I mean, you can fall into what other people do and make the comedy quote unquote romantic, as in like the comedy itself has something like, oh look, he's walked in on her while she's changing and now she's gonna beat him up and hilarity ensues, or something silly and
yay domestic like violence.
It is, but you know what? You're gonna laugh at it because it's romantic comedy. That's
your prerogative, not mine. Don't put that shit on me, thank you.
It's like you were saying, you know, the tragedy, anything that you would normally consider that's really wrong, in a romantic comedy, everything is funny. And whether or not that it's actually effectively funny and able to make you laugh, that's up to the, you know, how good the author is able to actually do it, you know?
I don't know about everything is funny, but it's played for laughs.
Yeah.
So
everything is played for laughs, essentially, is what I meant by that. So, I mean, the example I gave of, getting beaten up or something, that's not really funny. I actually don't find that funny, but some people do, apparently, because it keeps showing up everywhere.
Yeah, even when the girl is clearly at fault, she'll still beat the shit out of the dude for being a so-called pervert, and that's not funny. Yet people laugh at it.
It's not funny, but some people will still laugh at it, and it continues on.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a result of just the main character being spineless, because he couldn't stand up for himself, because then he would stand up for himself in other situations. And they can't have that, apparently.
But he does. He usually stands up to evil forces, douchebags that are much more powerful than him, just to save the girl. Yet he can't say shit to her. Case in point, Goku.
Yeah, but he gets married. He has several kids. I mean, he seals the deal, as it was.
That's true, but she still owns him on the leash.
Not really. He still does whatever he wants, actually.
It's in Trinity 7, in Trinity 7, which has a rather unique main character. Whenever he walks in on somebody in, like, the bath or something, and there's a girl, he's just like, thank you, and then walks out. That's his reaction. Then they go chasing after him.
Alright, that's a good one.
You know, that's breaking the trope, and that's doing something and making it funny.
Mm.
You know? And honestly, you'll find that some of the funniest things are things that tend to go against what's typically, you know, the normal tropes. Because you're not expecting it. And that's a lot of the comedy, is the unexpected element.
Yeah, comedy comes from two things. It comes from the unexpected, or it comes from familiarity. That sounds like it just comes from everything, and that's not entirely inaccurate.
It's true.
But it comes from things that people can relate to. So romantic comedy a lot of times will go through the things that, you know, every couple experiences. You know, decorating, and they get into arguments and stuff about that. And, you know, all the basic stuff, bathroom etiquette, all the
honestly, it just
stuff
goes down to the misfortune of others. You could either play it off as a serious scene, or you can play it off as hilarity.
Yeah.
It's the same picture, but different expression.
Yeah. And then you have the unexpected, like Zero said, doing things a bit differently, having your characters a little offbeat from the normal. But even so, it's probably important to have it somewhat relatable, so that, you know, the audience can understand and laugh with the writer, I suppose. Not so much the characters, because they're probably not laughing, but...
Yeah. I don't think it'd be too far to say that relatability is one of the most important parts of comedy.
Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of comedy, definitely is. You have the familiarity aspect, and portraying expectations is the most basic form of comedy. Is you say something and then the punchline comes and it's completely something they weren't expecting, and that's how you can make people laugh. So that's my take on it. As for the whole romantic part, well, that's up to you.
That's trickier, but yeah.
Like how far you want to go, what do you want to become, that's up to your own discretion. And how much of the comedy will affect that, whether or not the romance actually goes anywhere. Because you'll find that in a lot of romantic comedies, typically it won't go, like the romance part won't go too far, because the comedy has a greater emphasis.
Not sure I quite agree with that.
It's a series by series basis, it seems.
It varies greatly. I mean, sometimes you just have a snapshot of a couple's relationship and you get this specific thing and you get their specific moments of this is the scenario and we're going to run with it and we're going to make fun of it and have some fun with this and everyone's going to laugh. And sometimes you get long-running things where it's just this is a couple and they're going through all the couple stuff and then they're going through all of the married couple stuff and then they're having the kids stuff and we're all making fun of all of it all the way through. And part of the comedy from that comes with, again, familiarity. You start to get to know the characters. So you get to know their quirks, and you get to know, oh, they're going to do that. Yeah, and it becomes something slightly different to just the snapshot comedy. So the familiarity with the characters, I'm having trouble explaining this.
I wouldn't be able to either, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing. Honestly, whatever I write just comes to me, and I realize now I don't actually have a set method of doing it.
Honestly, like, with those types of things, the more characters you have to help out and play certain roles, the easier it is to do things, I feel like. Like, I don't know how to say it. It's something that more comes naturally, I guess, when you start writing it. It's something that you have to really, like, you get it. Most people will do it because they've seen romantic comedies and they've seen what they can do with it and how they can make it funny or put their own twist on things. And with romantic comedies, it's very, very character driven. So you have to have established characters that can, one, not only be romantic with each other, but also can be comedic in their interactions.
Right. Zero literally just twigged me into how to explain this. So, the thing about short-term romantic comedy, let's call it that, where it's just a specific scenario and they do that one thing and it's all that, predictability is pretty much the enemy. Because, I've seen that before, that's not as funny the second time through, basically, is what happens.
Yeah.
You've seen it, so it's not as funny. But the thing is, with more long form, you get to know the characters, so you get to understand how their minds work and how they play off each other. So predictability becomes a little bit of an asset, because you can see the moments coming, and then you're right there with them in the experience, I think.
Explainability, like that, yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, this was a tricky topic to...
We were all awkward at it.
About. Yeah, a little bit.
It's tricky because it's so...
Like, you've seen it so many times.
You've seen it so many times, and it's...
Just there.
Yeah. It seems easier because we've seen it all, but we don't really know how to
it
play.
seems easy because we've seen it so many times, but to make good romantic comedy, there's a lot of effort that goes into actually making it.
Yeah.
And there's just so much slock out there that it makes it seem like anyone could do it, but no. A lot of it's rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it's kind of garbage.
Yeah.
Most
it's
Adam
just,
Sandler movies.
Oh.
Most, not all. Certainly not all. But, yeah, it's like, it's easy to get cheap laughs from romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Because it is so relatable. Because it's something pretty much everyone goes through at some point. So everyone knows the story beats that are going to happen or that you're probably going to play on. But to make that interesting and new and worth seeing or experiencing, rather, takes a higher level of skill, I think.
Like, I laugh the loudest when it's a gag or joke that I've never seen before. You know? And that's really hard to do. And if you can do it, you're pretty talented, I have to say. Put in a lot of work. All right. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're done with romantic comedy.
Harder than expected.
Yeah. So, next, we have questions. We have quite a few questions. Fucking hell, Greek guy. We talked about this. But, starting with Ghost 132435. Fucking numbers. Sith or Jedi? Sith.
Yes, Sith.
Sith.
The Jedi are evil.
I would join Jedi, but then the Jedi are kind of pricks, so...
Fuck that.
The Jedi are pricks, and they're also a monastic order, so you're not allowed to have sex.
Yeah, I can't go after the things I want as a Jedi, and I want lots of So, Sith.
I'll go Sith, and then maybe... I'll go Sith, and maybe if I feel like it, I might work with the Jedis, but I'll never be full Jedi.
I know there were a few Jedi who did have Sith abilities, like the lightning, the choking ability, and all that.
I don't give a fuck about the abilities. I want the ability to go after the things I want. Jedi have to be about justice and bullshit. Fuck that.
Very specific kind of justice, too. Balance rather than good wins.
I'd rather be Sith and then go free agent. Because, honestly, it's way too boring to be bound by the Jedi.
Jedi are ruled by politics. Whoever is the leading existing government, they follow.
Fucking Republic. I'll be honest, I'm curious, because in the Old Republic, if you play as a Sith warrior, or I suppose the other one, I forget what it's called, Inquisitor maybe, basically, you can fuck your way through the galaxy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a little strange.
At the speed of sound, only got one way to go, gotta follow my rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering whether that is ever an option as a Jedi.
No.
I wonder if it's automatically a dark side option as a Jedi.
Probably.
What about Luke Skywalker Jedi? He was both good and bad.
Mace Windu's probably a better example of that, I think.
Starkiller.
Maybe?
Force Unleashed.
Starkiller. Fuck that. Pointless crap.
It was pointless, but he was an awesome character.
He was. I'm just gonna pull down this Star Destroyer with the Force. Screw you.
That shit took forever.
It only took a few minutes.
Only.
I think somebody would hey, maybe we should shoot him while he's doing this.
You kill everybody beforehand.
Oh, okay.
There are ships coming at you and shooting you, but you're just like, screw you, my health meter's too big.
We talked about Star Wars a lot this episode.
Yeah.
Alright. So pretty much everyone's on the side of Sith. Go figure. That no having sex rule really hurts recruitment for the Jedi.
It really, really does. That's pretty much my own
You can
reason.
have it, you just can't have love.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's...
Huh. Okay.
It's still Sith.
Yeah, still
Sith.
Yeah, still Sith. We're all romantics at heart here at Fandom Flux.
Yeah. Also,
I would raise planets to the ground for a woman. Yeah. Sounds alright.
Sure. You can choose the sex option as a commando, by the way. that was the farthest I got in a character storyline was my Commando.
The Commando is just a soldier. He's not Jedi.
Yeah, I
know. Next question from Ethan. How to fix Sasuke, basically. With a scalpel to his nutsack.
I think it's already been done. I think that's already been done. Honestly, if we're talking about Sasuke as a character, I know the main thing is reduce the amount of screen time, and you're a lot better, because then he don't get as much of his whining and crap. Because he just that's an easy fix right there. It's just he doesn't show up as much.
I mean, you can give him. Eventually, he just became all about his personal tragedy. I mean, you got to give him more.
My rage, my despair, they surpass yours. Feel sorry for me.
Honestly, I thought he was badass during the Zabuza arc when he was a team player, when he was a good friend with Naruto.
Team player.
And then after that, it just went straight downhill. Actually, no, it wasn't even downhill. It was just a free fall drop.
Give him more to his character than just anger, sadness, and whine.
Bitching.
That's about it. That's
make him a character rather than a collection of...
Make him a character rather than a collection of... Yeah? Slicer?
It's of negativity, rather, than just... I don't know.
Make him
an actual character.
Yeah, he doesn't have a personality. There's nothing to really define him other than those things.
His personality...
They defined him entirely in, like, the first episode, or possibly the second episode of the series.
What is it?
Where Kakashi literally describes him as an Avenger, and that's pretty much all the characterization we get throughout the series.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. This guy has revenge and stuff. But that doesn't mean that his character has to be frozen in time for the entirety of the series.
Yeah, although he is a character, you have to remember, he is also a person. He has his own habits, his own quirks, and all that stuff. But the author didn't do any of that. We only saw his Avenger side. And
he never grew as a character. All he did was slowly regress into not a character.
You never learned anything about Sasuke himself. You just learned about his backstory.
And
that might have been the fault of the way the character was created. He was basically just an amalgam of different characters. I think I've explained this before. The writer just said, okay, I need an anti-hero character according to my editor. I'll just take all of these different aspects of different anti-heroes and just smack them together in one character.
That would have been fun if he just added more depth to Sasuke. I mean, even Sakura had a personality. Sakura.
But Sakura was in the series all along. That's the thing. She was planned to be in, and she probably had an arc. Sasuke was just sort of there.
Yeah.
Because he was demanded to be there.
I can kind of see that. But yeah, that's how I would fix the problem.
Pretty much,
I still say scalpel to the nutsack.
That would help, yeah. I mean...
But
less testosterone.
I said before, I feel like he already doesn't have one, though. I feel like you're just trying to scrape at something that isn't there.
But he has offspring. That didn't just come from nowhere.
We already said that it wasn't his offspring.
Yeah.
How does an Uchiha child have bad eyesight?
Karma?
Okay, that's a pretty good answer.
Yeah.
Wasn't Itachi losing his because he kept using the manga, that thing?
There you go.
Yeah,
that was.
She doesn't even have the regular eyes yet.
Overuse the mangekyo, that shit passes down to your children. It's hereditary.
How the hell did she get it?
Whatever your eyesight...
Did she murder someone as a 3-year-old?
When you had the mangekyo, whatever your eyesight was like when you have your child, that's what their eyesight's going to be like.
Yeah, she murdered her true mother, Karine, at 3, and that's why she has it.
Okay. So, the concept we enjoy reading the most.
redo fix easily.
Probably, to be honest.
It's pretty... Yeah, or I will enjoy, typically, like, if there's a certain ship that I want to read for, then that, but in general, I will like fix that have, where the character, like, time travel fix, essentially, are a little bit that I like, or overpowered protagonists. That's something I like. It's a guilty pleasure.
Alternate universes.
I'll change my answer for want of a nail.
Depends on the kind. Those can go pretty badly, in my opinion.
They can, but when they don't, when they go well, they go really, really well.
It's true.
I gotta go with Zero, but to narrow it down, I gotta go with, honestly, the anti-mage in the magic is only used world.
Oh, yeah. That's
I can see that, yeah.
Screw your magic, I'll punch you in the face.
Yes. Characters
He only
punch
uses
people
one
in the
magic.
face.
Fists.
That's the best magic, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, simple.
All right. I need to look at a comment. Greek guy, what the fuck? So, okay. First question from Greek guy. I don't remember if you've covered this, but what do you think about using a character death as a plot device, but then undoing it because you like the character and want to keep him or her alive, or they're too important to the plot?
No.
Fuck you spineless bastard. Kill him.
Yeah.
Keep him dead.
You're gonna kill someone, kill them. Be done with it.
Thanks.
I did that.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
I made the character. I initially planned on her dying as soon as, before I fucking created her. And after a while, I unfortunately grew too attached to her, so I brought her back. But she does have a purpose.
Like,
yeah, you didn't like it?
Yeah.
No, it sucks because I'm there with you. You get too attached to the character, and you know plot-wise, and for the character that it affects, it's so much better if they stay dead.
It is better, but
you don't want them to stay dead because you're so attached.
Like, you kill a character, and then you're done, and then a while back, you're just like, I really like that character. But but it was such a good character, and I worked so hard on developing that character.
Yeah, I've been on both sides of this. Well, not both sides, but both methods of this. I had a character that I knew from the start was going to die and then not die, which was Hermione in Harry Potter game of the year. Yeah, that was the plan all along, and that was always how I was going to do it. She was never going to permanently die. But then I also had Keika from Harry Potter Life of a Ninja, where she was basically just a fill-in slot for the team, and then she ran away from me. That happens a lot to me, by the way. Characters just running away from
style,
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she grew so much as a character from the time when she was created to the time when she died that she was too interesting to just kill off.
Well, the other reason for me is I brought her back because my point is to keep screwing with Issei as much as possible until he finally learns how to fight back. So this one is going to be the final point that's going to tip him over to make everyone just back off.
Yeah. I've only, encountered one case like this where, in my stories, when, I had the character think, oh, this person's dead, and it's like, oh, no, they're not. And, there was a second when I considered killing off the character there. I was like, no, I'm not going to, because this character wouldn't die anyways, because they heal automatically, which is something that, because in Persona, there's skills you can have so you can regenerate and stuff, and this character was particularly known for that skill of actually healing. So I was just like, it would make no sense for this character to die here anyways. Plus,
I'm actually kind of sick of medics dying like that in worlds where magic exists. I mean, one cure spell would fix them completely, and yet they somehow still die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I haven't had a character that I've really sincerely wanted to kill off yet, but there are, I've planned a few in advance of characters that I'm probably going to end up killing off because it needs to happen. When I get there, I have this way where I can just detach myself from the characters if I really feel like it. Because for me, like, I have this weird sort of mindset I can just kind of shift into where it's just like, oh, it's just a character. I think that's just special to me because I'm insane, but...
Probably not. I imagine a lot of people can do that, but just don't want to because it kills just a little bit of your investment in your own writing.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, the problem I have to deal with now is that now that I brought my character back, when another character is going to die, the reader's going to think, oh, don't worry, that person will be back later.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a problem because, like, Ichiro Oda, the One Piece writer, famously said he doesn't want to kill any character unless there is a very specific reason they would die.
Ace was a pretty good reason.
Ace was specifically designed from the very beginning
to
die. From the very, very beginning. Since he was introduced, he was going to die at that moment. So, and every other character in the series has pretty much survived. Like,
somehow.
Yeah, no, Ace was the older brother. Of course he's going to die.
But that's the thing. No one else in the series had died to that point. So he had to put that much effort into making absolutely clear that this character was not coming back ever.
You know what's
worse? Effective.
The guy who makes Kingdom Hearts has gone on record saying that nobody will ever die. Permanently.
Well, it's Disney.
Does that include Ansem?
That's not... I take that back. That is not a good reason for no one to die. Fucking Disney has killed so many fucking characters.
Yeah. In oddly dark ways, too.
Yeah.
But Ansem just keeps regenerating or whatever, reincarnating.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing. Like you turn into a nobody,
the next generation
dies a nobody, you become a pole, and then it's kind of confusing.
I can't decide which is the best example of bad but money-making fan fiction. Is it Kingdom Hearts or is it 50 Shades of Grey?
50 Shades of Grey is just Twilight, so...
Yeah.
It's
so
abusive.
That's fan fiction.
It's very abusive,
but Kingdom
Twilight.
Hearts is fan fiction as well. Let's be real about this.
Oh, yeah.
And bad fan fiction.
Pretty much, yeah.
It is a crossover between Disney characters and Final Fantasy characters, with a bunch of characters no one cares about mixed in, and no one can follow the plot in the slightest.
Yeah. It's an OC story. It's borderline self-insert, actually.
Yep. Come at me, Kingdom Hearts fans.
It's not something that anybody can really deny. Yeah.
Sorry, Zero?
It's not something anybody can really deny about Kingdom Hearts, though.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you, and I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan, and I have to say, just from the mention of darkness and light and hearts, you're already like, okay, it's fanfiction.
Yeah.
If they stop using the word darkness, it wouldn't be so bad. Just find other words. Even just dark, without the ness.
It spawns so many worse fanfictions because of the terminology they use.
Yeah, the Kingdom Hearts category is literally unreadable.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The only ones are crossover fics, and those are the only ones that work because they're actually Kingdom Hearts. They're not high school with Kingdom Hearts characters.
Okay, Great Guy continues. Quick observation, your recommendations lately, how stuff you found during the last week. If you have nothing to mention about how Smolder Fix completed or not, dead or updating, that you have read some earlier. Basically, why aren't we recommending older stuff that we've read ages ago? Because we ran out.
We've done this like 70 times.
I commented on that. We've gone through our entire alerts and favorites list.
No, I haven't. I haven't even touched it.
I've gone through most of it.
Yeah, I've gone through pretty much
I'm not
all
going
of
to recommend certain stories because they're basically porn.
And most of my favorites list is outdated as fuck. Like,
yeah, that too.
My favorites list is a garbage heap. Like,
pretty much, yeah.
I'm too lazy to take stuff off of it, despite hating it now.
Like, we've gone through pretty much most of the good stuff that we can think of, so you're getting what
most
we
of the stuff we still like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like our take on crossing over fix. Quick question, does Face Every Shadow count as crossing over with Fairly English Story and For Every Soul? No.
No, it doesn't.
Same universe, but the characters were already introduced. It is a sequel story.
Yeah.
And a prequel story, technically.
Rant. I'm sorry, I'm not reading this, but rant.
You're not going to read the whole thing on air. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. The self-inserts jumping. Is okay. This ring.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Greek guy. You actually asked, 3 questions, I think it was.
Yeah.
Something like that. Right, recommendations. Go for it.
All right. I'm going to recommend... Okay, so this is surprising. I didn't know that fics for this category existed. It is 5 Weeks at Freddy's by the gentleman Xerneas.
What?
Yes, it's called 5 Weeks at Freddy's. It's a Five Nights at Freddy's fan fiction. And
is there sex involved?
No.
I'm weirded out by this.
It's surprisingly good. The premise is Mike Schmidt. It takes place in the first Five Nights at Freddy's game. I think it came out shortly after the first game came out, was this fanfic. And the premise is, obviously he goes into the whole, pizza joint. He starts working the job, and it's kind of an interesting way in that they managed to make a complete story out of Five Nights at Freddy's and turn it into something. And there's a whole the main character's kind of a douche when it comes to the animatronics. He gets so scared by Foxy that the next day he unscrews Foxy's hook and sticks it up its butt so it can't chase after him and run down the hall. And he's just laughing at it and shouting and it's getting angry. And at one point the animatronics start talking too, and it gets kind of a little bit weird, but it's still really funny. And it's supposed to be horror, but once you get to the point where the animatronics start talking and stuff, you start to lose that horror element. I wasn't scared anymore of that.
Unknown anymore, so
yeah. And then the main character, of course, is trash talking them, even though he's pissing himself in the office. But I like it. Yeah.
He's working for $3 an hour. If he's not pissed off all the time, I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, $4 an hour. He's angry and he doesn't care. And the animatronic's wow, you're not scared. He's yeah, I'm freaking scared, but you guys can't get me. Come at me, bros. It's just oh, you okay? Just go sit in there covered in urine. But it's a great read. I enjoyed it. It's still updating. I think just updated 16 hours ago. So it's still ongoing. At 17 chapters right now. Go read it. It's fun.
Yay.
I would recommend a manga, but I need to get to it. It's actually, yeah, I'm going to recommend a quick manga. It's only 4 chapters right now. It's called Yusha ga Shindai. Shinda. It's basically the title translates to The Hero is Dead.
Oh.
And it takes place in a traditional fantasy RPG world or whatever, and the main character is this random villager who, farms for carrots and whatnot, and his childhood friend comes over and she's like, okay, monsters are going to be attacking and stuff. Shouldn't you go out and do something? He's like, I'll leave it to the hero. I've got this nice pit trap with bamboo at the bottom that will kill anything. And, we don't have to fear monsters getting on my land. And then the monsters attack, and the hero comes, and he's like, "Ha! I'm here to save the day." And then he falls in the pit trap.
Oh.
Have any of you guys ever seen the movie The Santa Claus?
Yes.
Yes.
Where you kill Santa Claus, it basically ends up being that. And it's hilarious.
Awesome. That's awesome.
It's pretty great.
So yeah, it's very funny. And
that reminds me of the game of Medieval on PlayStation 1. The main hero is supposed to be this legendary figure, goes charging in the sorcerer's fortress. He doesn't actually face the sorcerer. He gets killed by, like, the first 5 minutes by an arrow to the forehead.
And they're like, okay, we gotta go out on a journey to go and defeat the Demon King or whatever. And he's like, why don't we just lure him to this village? And then boom, pit trap. and then like, you know, everybody in the comments and everybody's like, yeah, that would actually work. I mean, it killed. This is not like a level 1 hero. This is a hero who saved the world 3 years ago, coming back to go and save it again, and he falls in the pit trap and dies instantly.
You'd think he'd have something to guard against that, but I guess gravity and spikes don't.
Yeah. So it's a little funny recommendation from me this week.
Cool. Arxum had something, yes?
Yes, okay, so my first recommendation is a book. It's a series called The Night Angel Trilogy by Brent Weeks.
Night is in dark or night is in
The day.
chivalry?
The day. Night. Night.
Okay. The Night.
Night Angel Trilogy.
Okay.
Alright, so the premise of this story is the main character, Azov, is a little orphan boy growing up in the slums and takes place in this medieval fantasy world. You know that song and dance?
Mm.
So he has to take care of his best friend, Jarl, and this little girl named, doesn't have a name, they just call her Doll Girl. And in this world, there are also these mystic assassins called Wet Boys who are 100 times more badass than any other assassin or mage I've ever seen in any media. And even among them, there's even the most badass character named Durzo Blint. When he has a target, he kills him. No questions at all. There's not even any doubt. He just flat up does it without fail. He's just that awesome. So, Azov, in order to escape the slums, he manages to get an apprenticeship with Durzo Blint. He becomes a wet boy himself. And then you find out later on that Durzo Blint is this ancient being from 1,000 years ago who just gained immortality, and Kyler inherits this ability. And he's just the most fucking badass assassin, anti-mage dude ever. He can just walk into a fortress of mages and they can't do shit to him. So, this story does delve into a lot of politics. It delves into how the world works, delves into like some ancient war 1,000 years ago, has a great magic system, has a great legendary weapons. It's just that awesome. Oh, and there are dragons.
Right.
Yay!
Anyways, yeah, that's my recommendation. And then for fan fiction, I have something called, sorry, I can't pronounce it, Naruto Genkyoin by Daniel.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
By Daniel Rush. It's just fucking hilarious.
I tried to, but I could not keep up with all of the OCs. There is a lot of characters in
there. There are a lot of them. But all of them are memorable, kind of.
Yeah, I was keeping for a while, and then I saw an update, and then I clicked it, and I was like, oh, update. And then I had no idea what was going on. I was like, I really should, at the very least, wait until the story is finished or something.
Yeah, it's at 693,000 words at 62 chapters. It is a lot, but honestly, there's not a single boring chapter. I plowed through this thing in like 1 week, and it was amazing. And I'm just going back right now to reread everything, to remember everything.
Yeah, that story is something you have to wait until it's pretty far in to actually go in there, because it can get really confusing with everything that's going on.
I think what I love best about this story is that Naruto is not a self-insert. He is Naruto.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's an idiot.
I love it.
Okay, any other recommendations?
My headset broke, and I've been sick, so I haven't done much of anything.
Okay. Ken, anything?
Nope, been super busy.
Yeah, likewise. So, I guess that's everything. It is February, and thus we get to shout out all of the Patreon patrons. Yeah.
Sure.
Confusing. Yeah. Patrons for the month of January. So, from the top, actually, let's go from the bottom, the lowest donations first. Akane Sasusora donated $1. Thank you very much, sir or madam. I honestly don't know because that's a girl's name. But it's also a character name.
Yeah.
So. I don't really... Oh, it's Resden. Resden donated $4, as is his usual. Thank you, Resden. Long-time donator. Since pretty much... I think it was the second month we had the Patreon up. So, thank you, dude. It's appreciated.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Tempest Tropa donated $5. We are still waiting for you to get in contact so we can do the thing reward that you have been owed several times over at this point. Arxum! Hey, buddy! Donated $10 because he's awesome. $10 is that the
That's the 2,500 word commission.
That's right.
I don't care about that. I just want to say, keep up the good
use
work.
it anyway.
Keep doing the shows. I really do listen to your advice.
Yeah. Have Kenshi write more.
Well, you have one in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he has two in his pocket, actually, but yeah. Okay. And finally, I'm going to go by his email address because I don't know what... I asked him what he wanted me to call him out as on the podcast when we shout him out, but he didn't get back to me, so I'm going to call him Akito. Akito donated $20. I don't know whether he wants the guest spot reward, but I'm assuming so. I'm going to try and get in contact with him, but could do with him getting back to me at some point. But, once again, thank you, Mr. Akito.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
And thank all of you for giving me money.
Yeah. Money's great.
Yeah.
It is, pretty much. And it's very much appreciated because, you know, I'm decorating and stuff, and that's expensive, and Zero needs medical treatments, apparently.
Actually, that's workers' comp, so that's free, but I need money for college, gosh darn it.
Also, Casey,
Okay.
you have Grand Theft Auto.
I do. I have Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC, but when it comes out, I pre-ordered it.
Fantastic.
We can use our Patreon money to Let's Play Grand Theft Auto 5.
I wonder if my Rockstar account will transfer to PC.
It does.
Fantastic. So I can actually use my character. Great.
Yeah, that would be interesting. We could use the Let's Play money to, we could use the money for Grand Theft Auto 5 Let's Play.
I don't see
We
why.
could.
No promises I can run it, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's a concern.
I believe in
Pretty
you,
sure it has
Classic.
high requirements. Yeah. So, we're going to close this out with something a little bit different this week. Some bad news came to light this Monday. On February 1st, 2015, Monty Oum unfortunately passed away due to an allergic reaction during a simple medical procedure. Monty Oum, as some people might know, others might not, he was the lead animator for Red vs. Blue seasons 8 through 10, and creator of the show RWBY. I'll be honest, I think all of us are big fans here at the Fandom Flux podcast, and this is very much a tragic loss.
It happens, though. That's not completely unheard of to have that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know exactly a whole lot of information, but stuff like that just happens.
It's tragic.
If there is one thing that I can say I have learned from how Monty Oum lived his life, it is that you should do something amazing. Doesn't matter what it is, just put your all into something, and something amazing will come out of it no matter what. If you just give your all, do whatever you can to improve, to make it better, you will come out with something irreplaceable.
Mm-hmm.
And I really should have written something down.
I guess. You're doing good, though.
Yeah. But
we won't forget about you.
In the announcement of his passing, Matt Hullum suggested that we honor Monty Oum by doing something he would appreciate, by
doing something
creative.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage all of our listeners out there to do exactly that. Do something creative. I know we have a lot of fan fiction writers or prospective fan fiction writers out there in our audience. So if you want to do that, absolutely go ahead. If you have interests in other areas like art or music or anything at all, create something.
Yeah.
Anything, really. Just put your all,
and put your all into it.
So I would like to dedicate this episode to the memory of Monty Oum.
You'll be missed.
He was literally an inspiration.
He was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so having said that, I would like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 72. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can do so through the Blogspot page, through the comments, our own personal profiles on fanfiction.net, or through the YouTube channel through the comments. Please donate on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Incidentally, there is currently a fund running for dealing with Monty Oum's medical expenses and to help his family through this tough time. If you would feel like donating to that as well, I very much encourage you to.
Medical bills are expensive as hell. Way too much in this country. So, yeah, anything you can give, even just like $5, that's perfectly fine.
So, once again, I would like to thank everyone for listening to Fandom Flux Podcast, episode 72. Bye.
Goodbye.
See you guys.
Later.